Peace to the world, and we're back for another episode of the Think Muzic Podcast. This is the Gnosis, aka the Word.
And this is your everyday working man, Dunlap. Peace to all.
What's happening, good brother?
Just hanging in there, man. Hanging in out here grinding, pushing this mop. Doing what it do. In a good place this week. Good mental place. Yeah, man, getting ready to take this trip, go pick our son up. He's been in South Carolina for the last 3 weeks, so gonna be heading out tonight, shoot up there to pick him up and get him back home. And it's been a therapeutic time. Like, I'm cool when he's around. I'm good when he's around. But me and Brianna just got a chance to hang out, and we stepped out of time. I think we stepped out once or twice. So just went out, got something to eat, stuff like that. So good week. And yeah, feel good, man. Feel good. Can't complain.
Yo, that's what's up. It's good to hear. Yo, what's up, Serious Biz? What's up, Flex?
Serious Biz, Flex, what's going on?
Peace, Nene.
Nene, what's going down? Going down. How was your week, good brother?
Man, I can't complain, man. We made it through it. It was
All right.
It was a hectic week. It was busy, but it was a good busy, good kind of busy,
All right.
Had some readings to do, and those were eye opening.
Okay.
So a lot of young people. It's interesting. Most of the analytics say that most of the watching and the viewing audience of this channel is, I don't know, mid 30s to late 40s. But the people who really, really seem to be interested in trying to chart their path is a lot of younger people.
Right.
Which is something that's hopeful, I think, So
yeah.
But that's another discussion, But other than that, family's good. We making it do what it do. Yeah, Flex. It was. Yeah, we had to sit it out last week. It was on me. I was like, man, I need to take a break. But I think we got a little something for y'all this evening. So I don't know, Dap, if you want to go on, if you want to go on, launch on into this, or we want to.
Yes, let's do it. What did you name the podcast?
Oh yeah, tonight's podcast is the Metaphysics of the Milwaukee Bucks. I wasn't able to. It was so long. I didn't want to put. I wanted to put championship, but it already about 12 paragraphs just for that much. So that's really what it is. It's the Metaphysics of the Milwaukee Bucks championship.
Okay.
And I guess you want to pick up with the phone, because I didn't know that they had won.
Right.
And so if you want to pick up with the telephone conversation.
Yeah, so I called Jamal. I'm like, we posit that the elite controls things, right? That's like the narrative, I guess. Like these people sit in rooms and they're into astrology and numerology and all these other things, and you know they can see what's going on in the world um, through cycles. And can you manipulate things? Can you put things in place? So I called him. I said, can the sport elite? It was basically asking the question of, can the sport elite do what the so-called regular elite do? Now we know that they're all the same at the top, like it's all, but it's also broken up. So you have, elitists in finance and sports and politics and all of that stuff. But we know at the top, it's all the same. It's the same people, just broken down. They all sitting on different boards or what have you. Mm-hmm. So as Milwaukee won the chip, I got to thinking about, can this chip be a scripted chip? Can it be a manufactured chip? And, on paper, it's like, you got to have a lot of people involved with that. I was just talking to a friend back home named my friend Brian back home. And I was kind of talking to him about this conversation. And he was like, he was like, I don't really know. It's like, there's a lot of people got to be involved with it. But I was more or less saying, like, on the metaphysical side of it. And it's like, when you look at Giannis, okay, first off, his story is he lived in adjunct poverty in Greece, him and his brothers. Supposedly they were like selling burned DVDs and all these different things. And you can look him up and find out his story wholly. But supposedly, these guys come from nothing. I don't know what college Giannis went to or his brothers. I don't know if he got drafted from overseas or what have you. I'm not sure how he got in the league. I don't remember hearing about Giannis in college. And I kind of, not that I watched college basketball like that, but like a couple years ago, you couldn't help but hear about Zion Williams. So, so if it's somebody that's kind of going in, especially if they play somewhere around this area, you hear about him. So Giannis and his brothers, I know Giannis gets drafted. I'm not sure if his brothers get picked up, after that. I'm not sure if they were drafted. But to start this, Giannis' brother wins the championship. I think it's his youngest brother wins the championship with the Lakers last year. He doesn't get any burn. If I didn't tell you that, you probably didn't know he was on the club. This year, Giannis and his older brother won the championship for the Bucks. So I started thinking like, can the sport elite create a story? Can they create a storyline? For this guy to, and to give you another, just to give y'all more of this background, I sent Jamal a video. I follow this channel called the Film Archives. They show a lot of C-SPAN interviews of people writing books or whatever. So I seen this clip years ago, and it was always in the back of my mind, because in this video they talk about how the elite will come to the urban community and grab one of the smartest students in school, but they'll do it through grants or whatever. And it's like the movie Trading Places. Like, these people have so much power, they start figuring out ways on, let's create a project and see what we can do with it. You know what I mean? That type, like Trading Places, like, let's put Eddie Murphy in this position and see what he'll do. and put Dan Aykroyd in Eddie's situation and see how he lives. Like, this is the games they play. So I'm watching this clip. I've been thinking about this clip for a long time, and maybe it was synchronicity or what have you, but I see it in my recommended videos. And, I seen the title and it was like, something with the elite name in it, whatever. So I click on it. I'm listening to it. Boom, it turns out to be the video I've been thinking about all this time. Because I want to say I liked the video or something and put it in, like in a playlist or something, but I couldn't find it. So I listened to it. As soon as I heard it, I shot it to Jamal. Like, yo, this is the joint I was telling you about before. So he checks it out. And pretty much, like I said, these people will take a project, and just to go a little deeper on that video, they were saying like they'll bring somebody from the inner city community, give them a scholarship. This man or woman will go to Ivy League school or something like that. Graduate, get picked to go work for one of these, high-end corporations, making high 5 to, mid 6, 5-figure, 6-figure job. But what they also said is that when they bring these people in, they do not want them to interact with their family per se, or people from their old way of living. Like it's like they're trying to tell them you're elite now, and this is what you do. This is how you be elite. This is what you wear. This is where you eat at. This is what you drive. And they don't want you to go back home and tell others how to do it. They want you to stay here. And the guy asked him, he was like, well, what about marriage and all of that? And he said, because they're not really into mixing races like that. He said they'll have a man or a woman for that person. So, it's like if you're a man, you'll find a woman in that same elite circle that you will start dating and possibly marry, because they have put you in that position unbeknownst to yourself. You know what I mean? So that was my foundation for, can they do the same thing with an NBA player? So now you get Giannis, comes over here. He's 194 pounds. Now he's 240. If you see what Giannis looked like when he came in the league, you'll be like, wow, like, damn, he got drafted or what have you. Now he's 240, in shape. He's a little deeted or what have you. And now here's the storyline. To take this guy from poverty and make him the face of the NBA. So over the last couple years, he's won, I'll say within the last 3 to 4 years, he's won 2 league MVPs. He's won Defensive Player of the Year. And the NBA has no face right now. Now, as when Michael Jordan was in the league, and just to add on to the story, I listened to the Knuckleheads podcast, and they had it's a sports podcast with Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles. They had Larry Johnson on, and they're talking to Larry Johnson about when he was drafted, and Larry Johnson was saying that the league, they want a face of the league. So for 2 years he was the face. This is with Michael Jordan still in the league. Now we know Michael Jordan is the overall face, but you just can't keep pumping Jordan all the time. So for 2 years, he said he had the #1 selling jersey, but it was organized for him to have that #1 selling jersey because they wanted to promote him. They wanted to push him. He was a #1 draft pick, and they wanted to push him. So that's manufacturing in itself. Not on the super deep level, but he's telling you like they push who they want, pretty much. That's what he says. They push who they want to be the face, and then you'll start getting all of these looks to be the face. So my thing was like, okay, well, did they do this with Giannis? Now, yes, they got to play the basketball game. They have to do all of these different things, but you started giving him, I'm not going to kick Giannis in the back. Like I'm not even about that, but Giannis' game has a lot more to grow into his game. I'll just say that. And you give him these league MVPs, this defensive player MVP, and like my man Brian was saying, he's a hell of an athlete, but he's not a baller like that, bro. Like he's not. His jumper's not consistent, and I'm not saying you got to shoot 80% jump shots. Nobody does that, but he's not super consistent. He don't really have a back to the basket game. I think he was. I think he was pushed to this, and that's what I was asking Jamal, bro. I was like, can this guy be a reclamation project for them to just like for whatever reason, just I don't know their agenda or why, but just like. Maybe they need something to do. That's the agenda. We need something to do. So let's pick this guy and see if we can get him to the top spot. Now, unbeknownst to him, he doesn't know this is going on. Like he's just like, oh, I got drafted. He just signed an extension to stay with the Bucks for like 200 and something, like I think 240 to 250 million. You know what I'm saying? To stay there. And and there's some other things that was pointed out listening to another podcast. Shout out to Black Dot. He was saying like he dropped 50 points in the game winner in the season, the series clinching game. He dropped 50 points. It was 50 years ago that the Milwaukee won their last championship. He pointed out that they beat the Suns, who has Chris Paul. We know Chris Paul do the State Farm commercials, and one of the State Farm commercials, a deer runs through Chris Paul's window. So we know a deer is a buck. And also he pointed out that today is a buck moon. So you put all these things together, and it's like, was this a manufactured chip? Or, and then you still got the sideline shit. Like he's out saying, I didn't have to go to another team to win the championship. And it's like, you didn't even play none of the big dogs to win your chip. Like you played a beat up Nets team who was the favorite to get to the chip. Trae Young got hot and they knocked off Philly. But y'all didn't play Philly, so y'all didn't play the top two teams in the East. Phoenix played LeBron and them. They played the Lakers, but AD was hurt. They got by Utah, but Utah beat Denver, who point guard Jamal Murray was hurt. Phoenix gets by Utah, and then Phoenix gets by the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. So both these teams make it to the championship without playing the best competition. So my thing is like, if we believe that things are scripted, we know you can get real life responses from scripted scenarios. And so now, my other thought was like, can some funny karma come from this also, from winning the manufactured chip? Because now you win a manufactured chip and you're talking stuff to people now, and can there be repercussions from that? Just like enjoy your manufactured chip and chill, but now you're running your mouth and you didn't play the big dogs. So that's what I got. That's what I was talking to Jamal about, and then the brother started going in.
Yo, before I tap in, can you give us a quick correlation between LA and Milwaukee? As far as the Lakers, where they originated.
Oh yeah, so the Lakers were first in Minnesota. That's why their name is the Lakers, because of Minnesota's the land of lakes. And yeah, so and then they went to LA. They went to LA a long time. I can't remember exactly when they went to LA, but they went to LA. They moved to LA, but they kept the Laker name. They didn't change. They didn't change their other name. They just went to Los Angeles, and also Kobe supposedly um predicted Giannis winning the championship. I think there's some old tweets of Kobe saying Giannis will be a champion or something like that. So, Kobe got a little play in this also. Um, I guess thinking I guess he thought he seen something in Giannis of, I didn't see the exact tweet, but it was in the effect of like he's gonna be a champion one day or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. If it was something else, you might have to jog my memory if I said something over the phone that I forgot.
No, that's pretty much. I just want to make sure that we threw that, and that everybody knows the Bucks won. I guess was their first and only championship up until now in '71,
Right.
and that's the whole 50 years that Dot was referring to.
Yep.
And we know we had DMX passing on his 50th birthday. And we've had a host of other melanated rappers / entertainers who have transitioned in their 50s.
Yep.
And 50 in Kabbalah is the 50 gates. Is a pinnacle. The number 50 represents the gates, the 50 gates of understanding. And I think that there might be some correlation there. And like I told Dap on the phone, when I started talking, I was going off the top of my head. What's up, Godly Vibes?
Godly vibes, peace.
And there's no, I'm just another person just talking, but I will kind of elaborate on what I got into on the phone. And so my thing is, it's a far gone conclusion that professional, even collegiate sports, and it may even filter down to some high school sports, is scripted. But we know for sure professional sports is scripted. So, first of all, what's a script? It is something that is written, and to write is to scratch. And that is why a grimoire is used in all aspects of life, all aspects of magic. And grimoire is grammar. So when they are scripting, they are attempting to write their own grimoire, and they are attempting to formulate their own mythology. And they use the athletes. And the word athlete in essence means fire. And so if we take like Hebrew is called a fire language. So when you're writing, then they are controlling fire when they're writing these scripts. It's just they're using human capital, so it seems so real. Because they've taken the mythology out of the book and they put it right here in three-dimensional so-called reality. And so with that in mind, if we accept that, then the question is, here's the $64,000 question. Why? Why? Is it just a game? You know, or is it a game that's more, or is it a game? Yeah, it's a game, but it's a game with much higher stakes than just winning a trophy and a new endorsement deal or whatever, or a parade through your city and uh, going out and getting drunk, and celebrating, whatever. So what I kind of let my mind and imagination just kind of run with it, and I started recalling some things. So first, I want to just throw this out. In the West, representing the West, were the Phoenix Suns. Representing the East were the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, we all know this. We know about the mythology of you've heard about the Phoenix. We've heard about the Phoenix. So I'm gonna be a nerd tonight. We're just gonna break down different components of all this, okay?
All right.
So first thing, I want to read a little something about the Phoenix. Okay. The Phoenix bird, the symbol of immortality, lives for 500 years, burns in its nest, becomes ashes, and is reborn in a continuous cycle. The bird eventually ended up in Phoenicia, which was said to have been named for him. The phoenix is possibly the same as Bennu bird of the Egyptians. Now, that's a little small passage, but there's a lot in there. First of all, the phoenix bird is a symbol of immortality. Lives for 500 years. Well, we all know that when the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction happened in December, a lot of people were talking about this 500-year cycle. It was a culmination of an 800-year cycle, and it was the end of a 200-year cycle. All these cycles converged at that time. And interestingly enough, the Phoenix has a 500-year cycle. Okay? And at the end, it burns in its nest, becomes ashes, and is reborn. Now, I'm going to veer for a minute, because ashes are used to rekindle a fire, okay? And ashes are also used to fertilize the ground so that new vegetation can grow. I'm sure y'all are aware that when there's some major burn off or forest fire or whatever, that when it's all said and done, all that ash becomes amazing natural fertilizer that just makes the vegetation come back fuller than it ever was. Okay? And so when you have gentrification in neighborhoods, this is the low magic that is being worked. You go and you let a neighborhood become decrepit, and it's all coordinated, from the schools to the grocery stores being shut down and creating food deserts, to not even being able to get gasoline, uh, and of course, drug activity, violence. It all has to coalesce to work to create this decrepit place to live. And the goal is to run it down, run it down, run it down. And then you come in as a so-called Jesus-like figure, and you come in with these programs that, like Dap alluded to earlier, you come in as the white knight and you launch these programs and you say, we want to clean up the neighborhood, as though all of a sudden a certain group of philanthropic, wealthy people said, we didn't know. We just didn't know all of this was going on in this neighborhood. And we want to try to make it work. We want to make it better. And they come in and they act out what I just read about the Phoenix bird. The Phoenix bird burns in its nest, becomes ashes, and then is reborn. So by studying cycles and studying how energy flows, ebbs and flows, how people really try to cripple the unknowing masses, is to have them as willing participants in their rituals. And the ritual is predicated on ignorance. It's predicated mostly on ignorance that you are in a ritual. So I wanted to start there. And of course, Phoenix is also synonymous with the falcon, which is also synonymous with the hawk. Phoenix, the Phoenix bird, is synonymous with the falcon, which is synonymous with the hawk. And that, remember I said that, because I'm going to come back to that. Remember the hawk. The hawk.
And he beat the Hawks before they played Phoenix.
Okay. There was, see, I didn't, okay. Now that even further solidifies. Remember the hawk. Okay. Okay. Let's go from the Phoenix. Now, the Phoenix are called the Phoenix Suns. Okay. So by the Bucks defeating the Suns, the sun does not shine. It does not rise, because the sun is in the west. Phoenix, they represent the west. So the sun was prevented from shining, meaning it was prevented from resurfacing from the underworld. The sun is also synonymous with the seed, because the seed is sunlight compacted. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Now let's take a trip, because I said the Hawks, right? Oh, hold on. We're going to finish up on the Phoenix first. We're going to finish up on the Phoenix. I want to read you a little something. In all probability, the palm was preeminently a symbol of the immutable and never dying fire, as being the only tree known to the ancients which never changed its leaves, all other evergreens shedding them, though not regularly nor all at once. The Phoenicians, and understand this, the Phoenicians are the Etruscans. And so when the Bible says Hiram, who's the son of basically his father was from Tyre. Tyre means Etrusca. okay? And Etrusca is Phoenicia, okay? The Phoenicians represented on their coinage a palm tree encoiled by a serpent, and the Phoenician deity was entitled Baal Tamar, or Lord of the Palm. Tamar resolves, and if you go and watch the old video on my channel about sex, shit, and the stomach, you're going to get the breakdown on Tamar. Tamar resolves into resplendent sun fire. Phoenice, the Hebrew for palm, may be anglicized into fan light, an obviously appropriate term, and phoenix, the Greek for palm, may be equated with the soul phoenix, Fu or V. Okay, so it gives further breakdown of how the word develops. But what I want to point out is the phoenix being associated with the palm tree. Now, if any of y'all study any Sufi literature, you know that the palm tree is a very key piece of symbolism in Sufi knowledge. The palm tree represents the way, okay? And the palm tree is one of the reasons the palm tree is used is because its root system is impeccable. It grows these humongous roots, and it can go and find water from it can be several hundred meters away from the tree, and it will go and find water. So that denotes, why one of the reasons that the palm tree is symbolic of being on the path or on the way, because it is the reaching out of the tentacles to get what is necessary while not losing your position. So all of this is wrapped up into the phoenix. And so if the phoenix is defeated, that means, and I'm going way ahead, but if the phoenix is defeated, in essence, it's kind of like saying enlightenment has been prevented. Awakening, true awakening, not wokeism, but true awakening, whatever that entails on a personal level, has been thwarted because the sun was prevented from rising. The phoenix sun, the phoenix bird, was prevented from rising. Okay, that's what I gathered from it. Now here's the other part. The buck. So I want to read a little bit about the buck. Give you some background into the symbolism of the buck. Because the buck, which is the male deer, the buck is also in the family of the elks. Okay. So I want to touch on, and they grow these amazing antlers. Where I want to go. First of all, let me break this down. The buck is synonymous with the sign of Scorpio. It's on here. I broke this, one of my little teaching tools. Back here on Scorpio, when I break down Scorpio, it's something that you don't find, but it's symbols for the elk and similar. The scorpion was the emblem of the Egyptian goddess Selk, whose title was the Great Reptile. directress of the books. She is the same as Seshet. She is also referred to as the light of the elk, portrayed with a scorpion as headgear. Selk, also called the Lady of Letters, goddess of writing. What we talked about earlier, writing, scripts. These are scripts. And so this scorpionic energy is the scratching. Okay, goddess of writing, keeper of books. In Babylonia and Assyria, scorpions were regarded as guardians of the gateways of the sun. Guardians of the gateways of the sun. Okay, so we're getting a little connection here between the buck, right, and Scorpio. And I want to read something. The horns. So the scorpion. I touched on that. Let me see. Something else I wanted to lay out. Got that already. Okay, so I'll go to this one. Here we go. Now, if we accept that the elk, peace, wise, feminine, if we accept that the elk is associated with the scorpion through the symbolism of the goddess Seshet, okay, which is also Selk, which becomes Serket. You backed up so it don't sound like it makes sense. The elk is associated with Seshet, which is associated with Selket, which is also the goddess Serket. Okay, so let me read something about Serket, the Egyptian goddess Serket. Underworld deity, protector of the dead and living, scorpion goddess, with her winged arms widespread. Now let's stop right here. The phoenix is a bird. And this goddess has bird-like qualities because her wings are widespread. She protects the mummy and guards the canopic jars containing the viscera. With the goddesses Neith, Isis, and Nephthys, Serket, the daughter of the sun god Ra, watches over the body of Osiris during the 7th hour of Ra's journey to Tuat. Serket confronts, seizes, and ties up the evil serpent, Nehebra, who attempts to prevent Ra's boat from moving ahead. Okay. I'm proposing, because you see this happen all the time. You take the same energetic signature and you split it and you pit it against itself. The phoenix bird and Serket is the same energy, because the phoenix bird becomes this fiery ball and then it crashes to the ground as ashes. Those ashes don't just sit above the surface. They get broken down. Nitrogen, ammonia, carbon dioxide, all these other key chemicals that are needed for fertilizing the sod or the dirt is extracted from them as they break down, and they go into the underworld. The phoenix bird rises from the underworld. Scorpio is the underworld. Scorpio is a subconscious mind. So the buck is associated with Scorpio, with the subconscious mind, the underworld. And so basically, the underworld is not the enemy of the sun. The underworld is the place where the sun, i.e., the seed, goes to be developed. So if you prevent, if the buck stops the sun, then that means the seed was killed in the underworld. The natural intelligence in the seed. See, Mars in astrology, Mars is the urge. I want to say this. Everything in the wheel is a form of intelligence. Even aggression is intelligence. Because for the seed to grow, Mars is there to provide the urge. Mars says, go, go, go. And that urge is the aggression that's necessary for the seed to push and break the casing that it's in. And so the sunlight or the compacted sun can be released. And then all of the feces and fecal matter and all of the decrepitness in the underworld, some kind of way provides a latching on point for the energy of the sun that propels it up. The buck symbolically and the phoenix sun are supposed to work together. The underworld supports the growth of the sun. It supports the growth of the seed. And so in essence, in my humble opinion, the ritual is to write a script to where these two energies are pitted against each other. There are no winners. Okay? And so that's circuit. But let's go a step further. Remember, I said I was gonna come back to the Hawks. And I ain't gonna be much long. I ain't gonna bore y'all to death. But I want to read something here. Let's see. In Greece, as in Egypt, Pan was figured as having the countenance and limbs of a goat. The choral odes sung in honor of Bacchus, who is also said to have appeared as a goat, were called tragodia, or goat songs, and a goat was a symbolical prize given on those occasions. Let me get down, because I mean that's pertinent, but it's not. I want to get to the main thing. Here we go. The French for a he goat is Bach. The French for he goat is Bach. Bouc, which means exactly the same as Bach. Bauk, the Egyptian for hawk. Let that marinate. And y'all might be saying, well, that's Bach. We talking about a buck. The vowels are interchangeable. You listen to the consonants, B and K. Don't worry about the vowel. It can be Bach, it can be Bok, it could be back, it could be buck. It's the B and the K, book, book. So we're talking about the energy that is assigned to the goat is also synonymous with the hawk, as in, as above, so below, because the hawk flies and the goat is a land animal, climbs a mountain. That's earth and air. As above, so below. Okay. It is also the same as the English buck, Buck, and I'll show you what I'm reading from. The Lost Language of Symbolism. Okay. And it's perhaps traceable in place names such as Box, Buxton, and Buxenden. All right. So let's put these pieces together. if the buck coincides, yes, why I saying biblos, that's right. Biblos is where Isis takes Osiris and he's put inside of the tree. So that he becomes the word, that's all connected. It's all connected because Seshet, who is the Lady of Letters, keeper of the House of Books, she coincides with the elk. And one thing in this book is I wanted to show you is that it shows these little crude drawings, but look at the symbol for the buck. Let's see. Look at the symbol. Let me see. I'm gonna put my finger on them so you can look at 1244 and 1246. 1244 and 1246. One is the elk head and one is the scorpion. So it don't sound like it's far-fetched. Like, what the hell are elk and a scorpion? Look at them. Okay? And so that's there to show the correlation between the elk. We're talking about symbolism. The elk and the scorpion. And so the ancients were so brilliant that they could convey abstract thoughts. That's why they use symbolism. Okay. Now I want to go to here. Shout out to my man, Brother Williams. As always, I always refer back to this book, Animal Speaks. I just want to touch on a few things. This is on the deer. I'm going to read something about the deer, and I'm going to read something about the elk. And I'm going to show you how this scorpion theme kind of resounds. Let me read the elk first. First of all, the elk is called the Wapita. That's the original name that is believed to be the Wapita by the indigenous people who were familiar with it. An elk, this is a little quick part. An elk is in its power time during the fall, Scorpio. This is its rutting season, except during the season of rut. Elks stay with their own gender, males with the males, females with the females. Sometimes elk will show up as a totem to remind us that we need to have the company of the opposite sex occasionally for balance. Now, what does that have to do with our conversation? Because one of the more traditional explanations you'll be given for Scorpio is sexual energy. And what it is on a deeper level, it is the desire to create. It is the desire to see a manifestation of the power of opposites relating. Because the scorpionic house is in the northwest of the chart. It opens the gate to it doesn't open. It is the first entry into the northwest of the chart. And Scorpio is the 8th house. And Scorpio follows the 7th house. The 7th house is Libra, relationship. So Scorpio wants to see, well, what comes out of that relationship? That's why it's considered to be a karmic house. What is the karma of the relationship? So the karma, what you create when you relate, is the karma of how you related. That's Scorpio. So that's what this is alluding to, a scorpionic reality. It wants to see the company of the opposite sex occasionally for balance. Okay. And this I want to read something too about the deer, since it is also part of the same family. Check this about the antlers. Antlers are symbols of antennae, connections to higher forms of attunement. Deer with antlers thus can be a signal to pay attention to your inner thoughts. That is scorpionic, inner thoughts and perceptions, as they are probably more accurate than you think. That's all. They're just speaking to scorpionic attributes, inner thoughts. You know, the Scorpio also deals with cutting, um, um, because when you cut away, you can get to the essence of something. So Scorpio, wants to basically, let's cut through all the bullshit. Let's get down to the brass tacks. So the antlers as antennae allow you to get to the inner thoughts, to get past the superficial. Okay. Here's one more. Let's see. Yeah, we don't need that one. Okay. And so we see, all right, wise feminine Scorpio. That's what's up. Um, 1123. That's interesting. 11th letter of the Hebrew alphabet is Kaf, which ties into our conversation because the Kaf is the palm. And the phoenix bird coincides with the palm tree, Kaf. Because the Kaf or the palm is called the resplendent fire, because the palm represents knowledge. And if you have knowledge, you always got fire or the potential to make fire. That's crazy. Um, what was I? Pluto. We real quick, we touched on, they mentioned something about Bacchus in here. Bacchus. And I didn't say nothing about that. We can't overlook that. It says, the choral odes sung in honor of Bacchus. And Bacchus, what's the root of Bacchus? Is Bach. Bach becomes buck, boke, back, all of those. So Bacchus is another name for Dionysus. Peace, Brianna. Bacchus and Dionysus are the same. And so in the mythology, they are both dismembered, okay? Ripped in pieces. I always refer back to the Hellraiser movie as a Dionysian, Bacchian story. Both of those also correlate with Pluto, because this is what happens to the seed, and they also correlate with Osiris, who was dismembered. It all represents what happens to the seed in the underworld. The seed is the casing is split. Okay. So we have, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, yes. The underworld is sleep. That's why I brought that up. And am I born? Is this boring, y'all? If it is, y'all let me know and I can shut up. But look, I'm trying to go. Here's another one. The anatomy of sleep. The anatomy of sleep. Y'all just bear with me. I just want to read a couple little things because I just was just throwing some stuff together here. So it says, we are unconscious when we sleep, and our personalities are in suspension. Our brilliance, wit, and accomplishments are denied expression. We can never see ourselves asleep. It is unthinkable that the sprawling, vegetating, perhaps snoring sleeper is the real I. Thus, it is only human to regard sleep as strange interruption of the waking state in which we are ourselves, and the image is most satisfying. But it is just as reasonable to regard wakefulness as an interruption of the sleeping state. Instead of wondering what puts us to sleep, we may wonder what keeps us awake. This is the point of view of many sleep investigators. It has often been suggested that the basic condition of the brain is sleep, from which we must be stirred to wakefulness. And here's a quote: "Fetal life is a sleeping life. It is amazing that the fetus continues to sleep, even during labor, unless aroused by threatened asphyxia." End quote. I wanted to read that because I think that shows the Suns and the Bucks. You pit the awake state against the sleeping state. But even on another level, it is that there's a time and a season for everything under the sun. There is a time for sleeping, and there is a time to be shaken, aroused, and awakened from your sleep. Collectively, humanity is at a time where a brief period of sleep is supposed to be coming to an end. And there is supposed to be an awakening. This does not mean that the underworld is bad and negligible. It is no more negligible than the gestation of the baby in the mother's womb. But there's a time for gestation. And there is a time when the baby is supposed to rear its head. And we are at a time where the baby is supposed to be born. I want to read one more thing. My bad, Dad. I'm coming. And I'm on. This is the last thing I got. Sleep is always our perpetual background and is there whenever the cause of wake disappears. I want to say that again. Sleep is always our perpetual background and is there whenever the cause of wake disappears. The cause of wake. Just as the analogous state of nakedness is there whenever we undress. Even in adult life, wake is still a temporary cessation of the basic sleeping state. If wake is a temporary disturbance of the basic state of sleep, and it seems that we must accept this unorthodox view, there is no cause for sleep, but only cause for wakefulness. That's some heavy shit. And it ain't got nothing to do. They suppose this is talking about sleep, but it's talking about so much more. If wake is a temporary disturbance of the basic state of sleep, and it seems that we must accept this unorthodox view, there is no cause for sleep, but only cause for wakefulness. In other words, it is natural to go to sleep. It is natural to want to stay in the womb. It is natural to want to stay in Pisces. It is unnatural for Moses to be drawn out of water, Aries. Because Aries is an awakening. And that means now there must be action. I yield the floor.
Yes. And so now we understand why they're keeping us asleep. Excuse me. So then I guess it started with 24-hour television, cable. Then it moved into, because when you had cable, you could watch movies all night. You could stay up all night watching TV. As the programming became a little more, there was more things that they could offer. You were able to just stay awake. It's all about keeping you awake. We know that with social media, you can be on that 24/7. And if you're always watching YouTube, and if you're always on your social media platforms, the question becomes, when are you doing any research? When are you doing any studying? And that's kind of where we go back with, sometimes you have to ask those questions about people in certain communities. Like, if you're always online, when are you studying? So then you're just talking now, and you find yourself delving into what the mainstream does. And you're just going to be talking about entertainment and who did this and who did that. And that's what they want you to do, ultimately, because if you get time to go into a slumber of study and begin to understand what's going on around you, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna fight against it. So their whole plot, or part of the plot, is to run through these cycles, to give us theater, and to keep you asleep, in the sense of not being able to, to keep you awake, rather, and keep everything bombarding you. So it's almost sometimes you're afraid to take time off to do something else because you feel like you're going to miss something, in a sense. I used to ask people, I'm like, yo, you don't log out of your Facebook? They're like, nah, I just keep it on. So as soon as I hit the button, I could just be right there. And I'm like, that was kind of fascinating to me years ago. Like, damn, cats ain't even logging out of the app. Like, I log out of Facebook so I don't get anything from it. All those notifications or whatever. But they're keeping us. It's that old Roman thing, bread and circus. And then they got us buying into the myth of these stories that they manufacture. So, be it war, something political, or what have you, it's all encompassing. And it's on us to try to remove ourselves from it, find out the real, and do our best not to buy into it. You know what I'm saying? Because, don't get me wrong. I wasn't an athlete like that, but I like playing basketball. I could play basketball. You know what I mean? I watch shit, but it's like me and my friend was talking tonight. Now I just watch it to watch it. I don't watch it. I do my best not to watch it with any intent behind it, because it's scripted. And once you get emotionally involved, or you put money in this thing, you betting and gambling, and then you don't understand you doing all of these things, and you don't understand that this thing is possibly scripted, but you think it's a real thing. It's no way they could script it. But Jamal just gave you an eloquent breakdown of how this thing could work, or how this thing work. Let's just stick to the point of it. How this thing work. So,
Um, that's all I got, fam.
Yeah. You know, I think Amina said, "What's up, Amina? Hey, can you turn it down a little bit? It's got this echo on.
All right.
She said, "Deer buck in Buddhism, the deer symbolizes harmony, happiness, peace, and longevity." That's right. Everlasting life. You know. What was I about to? Oh yeah. The thing now, or one of the things now, is that controversy is becoming a new controversy. Like, we talk about this on the phone, you know, it's like you can talk about controversy all you want. And actually, you know, the algorithms will push that. Because if you think about it, if I keep learning about the rituals that the elite are doing in hip hop and what really goes on at these Hollywood parties, and what are they trying to say to our kids? And if you really step back and look, what the fuck does that have to do with me? If you think about it, half the time I wouldn't even know shit exists. You know, if somebody's bringing something to you and let you know, damn, that echo. If they keep bringing something to you and let you know, what was I about to say? Oh, that this shit even exists. That's a damn distraction. That's all I was. That's it. I was. I don't know what else I was going, but that's you got it.
Yo, your man Giannis is Greek. They didn't gave y'all a Greek god now. That just hit me. They didn't give y'all a Greek god in the flesh.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the memes that's about to pop now. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro, it's yeah, it's really it's really. I guess this is the first time. You know, I'll go back and listen to somebody do a breakdown. You know, I'm pretty sure you could probably go check out Zachary Hubbard's channel. Excuse me. He be doing breakdowns with this with the numerology and all of that. But this is like the first time that I've seen it, or at least had the idea myself. Like I'm not a decoder dude and all of that. Like I like watching decode videos and all of that type of stuff, but that's not my bag. But this was the first time, like, by asking Jamal that question of like, yo, is this shit is, you know, like, did they look at this guy like, you know, because the NBA is all over the world, right? They all over. They're international sport, and it's like, yo, did they look around and, you know, they got scouts all over the place, and like, did they see this guy and was just like, yo, we could build a story around this guy. We don't have anything going on in the league right now. LeBron's on his way out. KD ain't playing ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let us go find somebody that would Giannis ain't on no BLM. He ain't on no ADOS. He ain't no FBA. Like, he's not even American. So, let's find somebody overseas that, because if we keep it a buck, no pun intended, the NBA is ready to have an international star, right? They want Luka Doncic to be the guy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they know once they make an international superstar the face of the league, I think their belief is the league is gonna go crazy now, right? It's gonna be like they want, all these friends, now football, they got their own bag. Soccer has its own bag, but the NBA, no matter what these pro leagues say about, they all want to top each other. So the NBA is like, listen, if we could get in the international market and make an international star the face of the league, they feel like their revenues and all of that stuff are gonna jump, gonna give them more light, and put them on a world scale, on a like how soccer is. So they trying to find a face. They done had the Larry Birds and the Jordans and the Magic Johnsons and all of that, but they've never had an international guy be the face. So so to me, it's like, this is what they did with Giannis. Give him he got a background story they could feed on, and then make this guy the king of Mount Olympus. So the script is crazy.
But I always like to remember that the series Fringe, when one of the first episodes it comes on, the character Olivia Dunham is at some event, and this military brass comes up to her and she asks some question about something related to money. And it's like, oh my dear, it's never about the money. It's about the results. And so while I know revenue would be crazy, I always wonder what's the why, because I never see money as an end, and I see it as an avenue for something else. And so the question is, let's just take the Luka guy, because I'm in Dallas, so I know they got you go downtown Dallas, they have a skyscraper with his image on the side of it. They had it for Dirk Nowitzki, I don't know what it is about Dallas where they're trying to find this. They're trying to find this great savior European, but there's some agenda, and I think it ties into everything we see going on in the world right now, without getting into any specifics. I think it's like you always say, everybody's on everybody's board. But yeah, that's globalism.
You gotta excuse me, man. I had to stop and get me a snack before I hit this other building.
Oh man, you gotta go check out those.
Yeah, I'm at my short one now. I've been here a couple hours and I'm out. But yeah, your man, Mark Cuban, he's not really big on American players like that. He said they ain't focused enough on the sport. This is why he go overseas and try to get. This is why he pushed to get Porzingis and Luka. He thinks going over. He thinks going drafting somebody from overseas. For one, he feel like their game is more complete because the saying is the overseas guys. And I watched the Dirk Nowitzki documentary, and he said that over there they learn every aspect of the game. Like in America, if you 5'11" to 6'1", 6'2", you're gonna be a point guard. If you 6'3" and possibly 6'3", if you 6'4" to 6'6", 6'7", you're gonna be a 2, depending on your handle. 6'7" through 6'9", you're gonna be a 3. 6'9" through 6'11", you're gonna be a 4, and possibly a center. And then 7 foot and up, you're gonna be a. So whatever your height is your skill set. They're gonna teach you in America. Like you don't need to learn how to play in the post. You're a point guard. Concentrate on that. Overseas, they teach you the all-around game. So if you 6'11", it don't matter. They teaching you dribbling skills. You know what I'm saying? If you're 6'10", it doesn't matter. You're working on shooting threes. That's why Dirk could shoot threes, and he was 7 foot damn near. Now he couldn't really take you off the dribble like that, like maybe when he was younger. But as he got older, he started shooting threes, had the post game and all of that. And then they just keep working on that. So that's why Luka, I think Luka's 6'7", but he a point guard because he can handle the rock. He can go in the post. He can shoot it. You know what I mean? He's an all-around player. They make all-around players overseas, and that's what Mark Cuban's looking for. He's the one really trying to find the face of the league, per se. Like the NBA looking for a face, but he's trying to have the player of the face the league is looking for, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want Luka to be what LeBron is. And he's going to be the next one to get the push. I'm telling you.
Yeah. It's all the same gentrification agenda.
Yep. And the shit is, like you said, it's not even about money. At the end of the day, it's like the Rockefeller dude telling Aaron Russo. It's about the power. These guys want to be God. The money is just a byproduct. The money is what bring the populace in. The money's not even it's like you said, they're not even about the money. The money is just a byproduct. They just want to create narratives, and it's like we said, it's a play. It's theater. Let's find Giannis, the homeless guy, and eating out of trash cans, bring him to the league, and make him a Grecian god.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to spin it in another direction slightly, but still kind of on point. What's going on is hit your mute there. Okay, what's going on is we're watching the death of intelligence. All these things are connected. They're all connected. And I'm not saying this is the only thing. The collective intelligence is being nullified and eradicated. Look, on so many levels, our original title for this was supposed to be, until Dap, we had that phone call and he told me, about them winning the championship. We was going to talk about the metaphysics of attention and woke attainment. Like woke entertainment, woke attainment. There is so much going on now to where basic intelligence is being shut down. We collectively don't even know what intelligence is. Not saying you, not saying me, but as a human species, the understanding of intelligence is, and I know there are all types of systems and routes to truth, but I want to just talk from the perspective of astrology. We set and charted the skies, the heavens, for not thousands, but millions of years, which means there was a degree of patience. And of course, we're not in the type of world that existed then. We can't even fathom that world. But there was a patience to sit and observe. That means shut the fuck up. Stop talking. Stop trying to have the last word and just watch. And maybe somebody's scribing, putting something down, and then they come back and watch it, scribing and putting something down. Then they're watching each other, scribing. Just millions of years of observance, okay? And so when we talk about that wheel, that's what we're pulling from. Each one of those houses is a form of intelligence. And see, in the woke attainment era, we have become so woke now that even when we think we're being intelligent, we're being stupid, because we will nullify certain areas because we feel like that's not even on the level of this over here. What's happening is we are missing out on collective intelligence. Do you know even knowing how to fucking work is a form of intelligence? And I know I'm going somewhere else, but it's all related. Even knowing how work ethic is a form of goddamn intelligence. Empathy is a form of fucking intelligence. Pride, yeah, goddamn it, pride. You start studying this shit. It's like pride is like saying that's like the devil in church. You can't say pride. Once you get into spiritual stuff, that's your ego. That's all that motherfucking shit. That this is all contrived. We've become Nazis. The woke motherfuckers start telling you can't say this. The dumb motherfuckers say you can't say this. The dumb motherfuckers who think they woke say, you know what I'm saying? It's all becoming tribal, but not in a cohesive and productive manner. Our attention span is being shortened. And so in order to try to get on and get your shit popping, you got to try to do what everybody else doing. So that people got short attention spans. So fuck it. I got to keep putting out 30 seconds of bullshit. I'm going to fart for 30 seconds and put it up just so I can get some views. But I really got more potential than that, but I'm trying to get on. And in my effort to try to get on, I'm helping to further retard motherfuckers. I'm helping to further decrease the ability of humans to focus.
Yes. Yep. Playing the circular game. It's like you understand what's going on, but you still play that. You still feel like you got to do what everybody else doing to get your message out. So it's just like you saying, like it's a fucking circular. It's wild.
You got Just to check this out. You got motherfuckers that talk more about relationships who ain't in a fucking relationship. You got motherfuckers giving you the plan to become a millionaire who ain't a millionaire. You got people telling you that, oh, you don't need to read no book, but the motherfucker can't read. That's why the motherfucker saying that. That motherfucker can't read.
Yeah. We're moving into it. It's moving almost into an opinion society with no research. Damn, how the hell am I gonna get these waste baskets? What the fuck? Damn.
And I know that shit. People probably gonna be watching this on the playback, like, what the fuck with this nigga? He started out talking about. He started out talking about the Bucks, and this motherfucker just went like, did he lose his mind on camera?
Oh shit. Oh. Yo, you gotta excuse me, bro. Like, I need these trash bags. These choices, hey, way up on top of these cabinets, bro. Like, I'm 46 damn near. I can't climb on this counter to try to get these. Yo, I'm looking at these trash bags like a mouse looking at cheese. Like, I'm gonna get up there and get this shit. Like, I don't got no grabber. I need like a. Hold on, they might have something over here. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I almost tried to climb on that joint, and I was like, let's not fuck around and blow a knee, twist the ankle in this joint.
Yeah. Get you some of that. Get you some of that alkaline.
Get you some of that alkaline water. That'll help you bounce up there. Get you some joint juice.
Pre-court. It's pre-court. Oh man.
But yeah, you're right, fam. I agree with you. If the attention span is gone, and with that, it allows for these things to still fall through. It allows for them to still play these games because they know they have the attention span of the people. They're not there.
Yo, can we? Damn, it's 12. Shit.
What time did we come on? 11?
Nah, 11 your time.
Oh, 10 your time. It's on. What we've been on? We've been on an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say, we always talk about you can't come out the house and not be on.
Yes. Meaning you talking about having your eyes open, right? Like,
you got to
paying attention to what's going on. Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's enough conversation about what it really means to be aware.
Yeah.
Fuck the woke shit, but I'm talking about aware. Like, you gotta be on at all. Like, you gotta be on in the gym. You gotta be on when you're driving. I mean, I just be sitting, man. Sometimes I have to decompress just leaving the gym because I analyze motherfuckers. It's like they got that thing they say in the Book of Thomas. when you let me see when your eyes are awakened, you will when you see, you will be troubled. So if y'all seeing, you got to be, that's got to be a part of you just trouble. And I know all of the, all not getting bogged down, but I'm talking about troubled as in seeing the feces around you.
Yeah.
Like, you look, you got to be on. You got to be on, because to be awakened means you got to be a fucking parent. That's what it means. When you got little children, you got to be on all the time, because they might fall down the steps. They might run out in the street. They might drop a damn glass and cut their foot open. You got to be on. You got to be paying attention when you got small children.
Indeed.
And what we're doing, we're in a world with small children who can get behind the wheel of a 3,000-pound car or truck or whatever, who got credit cards and who got houses, but they got little baby brains, Gerber brains.
You know something too? Just to add on a little bit. So I'm watching the news, and this is just kind of playing back into storylines. So supposedly in California, if you steal something, and other people might have seen this on the news, if you steal something and it comes under $950, you're not prosecuted for it or something like that, right? So I don't know who paid attention to the news like that. All of a sudden, they show these two kids, young adults or what have you, running. They went up in a TJ Maxx and stole all these clothes. They showed another video of a guy in a Walgreens or Rite Aid or something. He had a bag full of whatever. Like, they filming him. He's in the and this is brazen and wild. He's in the lane. He's in the aisle, and he's just raking stuff into this bag. And he has a bike in there, right? And he rides off on the bike by the people who's filming him. He kind of had his head down. They show another guy. Now, the first two stories, they were African American. This other one, this dude was European. He was in a Best Buy. He went up in the Best Buy and took a bunch of game consoles, they said, or video games or what have you, and put them in a book bag and was walking out. And then one of the workers tried to stop him, and and he got fired. He thought he was going to be a hero, and he got fired for trying to stop the guy. Now, the funny thing about this story is, with this last one, and this just hit me right now, the video of the guy walking out of the Best Buy, I seen on the news a few months ago, but that wasn't the storyline behind it. But this time, they showed that same video and put this story behind it. That people are going to start running into places and stealing. And because if you steal something that's under $950, it's not looked at as a federal crime in California or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just bugged out all of a sudden. This goes in effect, and then they got people, and that's why I said, like, so people be watching the news like that, and now all of a sudden you got video of these people running in these stores stealing. So it's more fear mongering in my mind. That's what I was pretty much getting at. Like, just fabricating stories, scaring people, keeping people on edge. And it ties back to what you said about having to go outside. I told Jamal this months ago. I said, bro, when I go outside, I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I gotta pay attention to what's going on around me at all times. And it's like because we know there could be real consequences from a false narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So, now am I heightened to the sense where I'm scared to go outside and all of that? No. But when I'm out and about, I just got my head on, bro. Like I just got my eye because you just don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what could possibly happen.
Yes. Yes.
So
And
you
people,
always got to be on. My bad.
no. I'm just throwing in. I said because the people are on edge,
Yes.
and I think what's going on is I think we're all going through a maturation process of getting a fuller understanding of what it means to be aware.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're seeing, yeah. I mean, we're seeing that it's an all-encompassing thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's interesting times.
Is anybody in the chat saying anything?
Oh man, they chiming in.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I think I can see the chat.
Yoel said in Cali it costs more to hold people for goods than the cost of goods. Second Nature said planted seeds of thoughts for crime, a reality within the illusion to be experienced, like predictive programming, basically what I got from that.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yo, we seen that at the same time. Damn.
Man, it's what's happening. This is what's happening, man. It's things are speeding up. And I guess because we're older, we getting into that thing of in my day, but what's happening is children don't have, or let me not say children, younger people, like in their 20s and stuff, they don't have the luxury of being like young and dumb, like we've all been. Like we were young and dumb in a slower time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like now with things speeding up, there's a quickening of consciousness, but there's also a quickening of crazy shit.
Yes.
And so that's what I thought when my man, like he said his homeboy got shot 12 times. We done all been in some. I used to mess with this girl. She was divorced from her husband, but she was still living in the husband's family's house. Now, I used to go over there, be sleeping, all types of shit. I would leave, and some of my shit would be there. And so the dude's uncle was a crackhead. And he would come. Now, she had like little locks on her doors, but it was some monkey shit. He could break the lock, pick the lock, come down there. Motherfucker stole some of my shit. I had to go and steal on this motherfucker, man. In his front yard. So, in essence, if he would have shot me, he possibly could have gotten off. Because I'm on their property. But the motherfucker took my shit.
Right. You supposed to call the cops.
Look, man, that could have been my man. What's my man? Kevin Cheeks. You know what I'm saying? He said that it was the girl's baby daddy shot him
12 joints.
So if I had been in that situation in 2021, who knows how that. It's very interesting times, man. Very interesting times. Nah, Yoel, it's different, man. Yoel, how old are you? It is different. From my vantage point. You still there, Dap? Menace to society. Yep. Right, Kevin. It's like the it's like the stakes are higher. One reason I say it's a different time is because we may have been the last, and when I say we, I'm saying like, you know, we're talking about people maybe in our 40s. Nah, I know what you mean. Yeah, every age is the same record, people. Yeah, but we're talking about on a everyday, day to day. Nah, it ain't. It's speeding up. It's speeding up. It ain't the. I remember being 25. I remember being 21. I remember, yeah, it's been crazy shit happening. Okay, I'm gonna down back in. It's been crazy shit happening since the beginning of time, but it's sped up. It used to. We're the last of a generation who had an inkling of a chance to like make a mistake or a few mistakes, and you kind of get a few chances and you can come back and get yourself back together. But the thing is, time has been moving faster. Time has been moving faster, and as time starts to pick up, it's just like when you go from high school to playing college. The game moves faster. And if you take a wrong step in college football, you done. Like in high school football, you might can take a wrong step and recover. But when the game speeds up, shit, that wrong step costs more. And that's how I kind of see. I don't know. Do you feel like the stakes, like shit is speeding up as far as the stakes are higher than when we were younger?
Yeah, I think when we was coming up, it was ramping up to what it is now. You could probably see some vestiges of when we was coming up where it was going, and why we had an inkling to start telling our younger nephews and cousins, and then when we start having kids, giving them the heads up of what we felt was coming. So that's what I think. I think now, I came up. I lived. When I lived in Pennsylvania, I was in a small town. The town I lived in, if we got caught doing something, I remember this one time. Me and my friend, we went to we was hanging out with another buddy. We was underage drinking. We got drunk. We walked to his house, and he stayed with another one of our friends, and it was my friend grandmother. And she was an older lady, church woman. She didn't do the drinking and all of that, bringing, coming in her house drunk and all of that stuff. We came in trash, and she called the police. And the police came, and like I said, because we lived in a small town, like the police knew us, and they took me home. Like they didn't take me to jail. They could have did that. I might have got a little citation or something. I can't remember. But they took me home. They seen another one of my friends walking down the street. They stopped him and was like, "Listen, come help me with your buddy or whatever." And they drove me home, walked me up my steps in my house, knocked on the door. My mom opened the door. He told her what happened, and that was it. I don't think, and I'm not saying people don't get chances like that or whatever. Like in this day and age, I'm pretty sure it may depend on locale, but I feel like today you gonna work that out out the county. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
you gonna get sober out the county, and then we'll figure it out on the back end. So I think when we were coming up, we were starting to see we grew up as the change was coming to what it is now. We was the generation that was on the cusp of what's now, but we made it through. If you got out of that world. Now if you stayed in that world, you dealing with it right now. But if you got out of that world, you kind of seen what it was getting ready to become. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Yoel made a point. He said it's just more access to the data of the world now. And I feel like that's what's contributing because, it's kind of like the copycat thing. Now everybody can see everybody's savagery more.
Indeed, yes.
Quicker and faster. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like it can spread faster.
Yep. That's what I say about comments. When you look at comments on anything, I used to call it the pulse of America. Then I just switched it to the pulse of the world because you don't know where these people are commenting from. But because you can hide behind an avatar and your name is XJ4739, you can say whatever you want to say. And I think when people do that, I think people are really saying what's on their mind because I don't have to reveal who I am to kind of hide behind that. So now mind you, in saying that, I listen to a lot of financial channels and stuff. I'm listening to Bloomberg, I think, either Yahoo or Bloomberg. There's this lady now trying to create an app that keeps you honest, meaning you have to put your real name on there. You have to have the real picture of yourself, and you can comment, but it's really you, and it's to help start dialogue. So that's the new thing. It's not what Facebook and commenting on a ABC News article is. But this is what this lady's trying to bring forth to help create dialogue with humanity.
Yeah.
So so I think the data points just really reveals what now we're starting to see under the hood. I think that's what the whole information age was about. It was to see under the hood because we weren't privy to the mechanisms that run the world only on a small basis. Now, with YouTube, you had people posting like, look, I had the Manly P. Hall the Manly P. Hall book for probably 9 years, something like that, 8 years or whatever. Secret Teachers of All Things. You could go on YouTube now and watch all the Manly P. Hall you want. You know, where before, you know, you might have heard, you know, maybe a rapper or somebody got privy to his information and maybe said something in the bar. You know what I mean? And that was it. But now, being in the information age, everything is readily accessible to you almost. People was just sitting at home with, you know, even to the music. Oh, I could put this record online now. Oh, I want to share it with the people. And you know, and it started off as something, you know, fun. You know, oh, I got this Beatles record, you know, or whatever. And you start putting stuff online, and that's the same thing with information. People putting audio books online. You starting to hear of all these people that, you know, that I'd never heard of, and you know, and it's right there for you now. Now it's just, what are you gonna do with the information as you get it? That's the everybody still there? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so that's the question. You know, ultimately, what do I do with this information that I'm gaining or that I'm learning from? You know, because, you know, I posit that the people that's been in control have been in control, and they're not going to give up control. So something's going to have to come online for them to relinquish control. And, you know, and what does that look like? And, you know, and if we go back to what that woman said about from 72 to, or 71 to 85, or 72 to 85, whatever, according to her, whatever that change is going to be is in our generation. Whatever that seed is going to be, it's someone in our generation. Or someone in our time frame, you know, that time frame of being born. That's a lot of people being born from 72 to 85.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting stuff, you know. I'm fascinated by it, if I'm gonna be honest. And now I think for me it's just like not falling into the trap that's been set.
Yeah. That's one of the keys, you know, maintaining order in your temple.
Order in your temple.
You know.
Indeed. Yep.
And it's funny, I had this dream, I don't know, maybe about a year and a half. It was before all this stuff jumped off. And I'm walking through it looked like some Shaolin temple, you know, and the fixtures were just amazing. Big old huge iron doors with the etching on it, and the stained like the thick overlay glass with the light, with the, not the stain, but you can't see through it. You can see images, but you can't see it clearly, that type of stain. Water flowing, you know, water gardens, all types of stuff was peaceful in there. And then I walked outside, and I was in the fucking hood, and it was I walk outside, and the bus stop was right in front of the place. Trash was blowing on the ground, and, you know, just your typical inner city scene. And I think that was kind of what it, you know, that was before that song we did, that Ordo Templo song, you know. And I think that's the vibe, you know, that to have that in the midst of chaos.
Yes. Have yourself, because chaos surrounds us.
Yeah.
And if you can have yourself in order within chaos. One thing I say this, and I mean, I know random things can happen, but I'm a believer in some people that may have, I think I've been in situations where somebody wanted to do something to me, and because they could sense my demeanor, they didn't. I feel like I've been in situations like that in my past.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna try to run on this guy, but then for whatever reason, something emanates from me and they don't do it. And I could sense something might go down and it doesn't. So, you know, I know Jamal's a big proponent on if you're doing the, you know, and I feel the same way to an extent. Like, if you're doing the right thing, like, you're going to be protected. Like, something, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not doing anyone any harm. If harm come towards you, it's going to be removed. You know, like I said, I know random things can happen to people and this and that, but I just think if you're just doing what you're supposed to do, bro,
yeah,
you're going to have some type of protection. And, you know, and it's not always what you think is going to, what is going to look like. So just keeping your eye on that. Yeah, I think that's, you know, I think that's a good thing. You know, keeping yourself in order around all of this chaos, and a lot of shit gonna miss you. Because when you got yourself in order, you're not even tying into anything that's going on anyway. That's the whole part about having this understanding and being in order and paying attention to what's going on around you. Yeah, you can see the things. So yes, taking it back to the sports, I can watch a basketball game, but I can watch the basketball game without having any feelings of who wins, who loses, or whatever. It's just on this particular one, it was like, yo, was this shit scripted? You know, did they want to make somebody something? And I got the basis from that video I sent Jamal. It's like, yo, did these motherfuckers just like we know they play games in that way, that's a fact. But then can they do it for an athlete too? You know, that was my whole thing for the build. Like, damn. And it's like this shit just it shown itself to me. That shit was like, straight up. But because of being in this work, you know, being in this and you know, searching for truth and all of that, I was able to see it without going to watch a video to see it. Which tells me that shit is starting to open itself to. I'm starting to see shit now. And I got this with no research. This shit just came to my mind and I just started running it. When I called Jamal, I ran with it. It just played itself out. So, man, I know you want to get some rest, bro. Yeah. I think it was a good build.
Yeah, I think it was a good chat, you know. I know I kind of went on a little bit, but
nah, that was needed because I think we need that in-depthness to really see how this thing is played. You know, We need that to see that. So when people go back and watch this video, the shit is just way deeper than we think. We think this is going on. It's deeper than that. You know, and if you listen to these people talk, and I know the people that listen to this channel and follow this channel, what have you, I know y'all dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know y'all dialed in. I know y'all got your own books. I know y'all do your own research. I know y'all listen to videos and other people's, like I know y'all do. So when you hear this information and how in depth he went with it, I know y'all came across stuff where y'all heard the elite say something funny. That's a fact. Because the old adage is they have to play their card. They have to tell you what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't directly tell you what they're doing, you know, all the time. You know, it might be do some predictive programming, but all in all, they have to tell you. So I know we came across stuff that's jogged our mind, like, damn, you know, maybe we didn't want to believe it, or maybe we thought that was a reach. But nah, you know, if these people are really in these lodges studying and or they got so much, you know, they want so much power and they want to be gods, and you know, and they got you thinking, you know, you got this position on pure merit and hard work, and because you got A's in biology. This just tells you another game that's played, and it's a real game.
Mm-hmm. Real game.
It's a real game. It's no different than if you work at your job and somebody's just like, oh, he's the black guy and all this Black Lives Matter shit going. You might get an offer for a position you ain't think nothing about. Let's just keep it a stat.
Mm-hmm.
Who can we promote in the company? This guy over here.
Yep. All done out of fear. All done out of fear.
You know, something's going to come online. We may be alive to see it. We may not. But to go back to what Jamal said about these young people, because we talked about this too on the call. He was, you know, he's been saying he's surprised how many of these young people wanting readings. The young people have benefited from the information age, because the information age has told them, or has revealed to them, all of the deception and lies. Now you can watch a documentary and see who Carnegie really was versus he was just, you know, great man of American history that helped build America. Now you can really see what he was about. Now you can really see what J.P. Morgan was about. Rockefeller. All the stories you've been told, you can now go and see the real. Now, there was books on these guys, right? But who was going to the library to really read about these guys?
Right.
You know, unless you were some type of historian, or you just love history, or you just had that knack. But the information age has brought the everyday person in. And these young folk are looking at how this country was built, how the world was built, different things, and they don't like it. And they don't want to buy into the old paradigm. This is why they're trying to figure out, what's my path? What am I here to do? I don't want to be a part of the same traditions that put us where we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got 80 plus years left. By the time I'm out of here, my youngest son will be If I, 40 plus, my son will be 48 when I'm out of here. He got another 40 plus without me around. But what is he going to see in his 40 plus?
Mm-hmm.
What is the world going to look like for him? And if he have children and his 40's over, by the time they're 40, is his 40's going to be over.
Yeah. Well,
so we have to be fortune tellers, seers, all of that shit right now for our children.
Right. Yo, real quick, hey, Young E, I appreciate that, good brother. Serious, I'm not sure what you. Serious said he wanted to add something. I guess type it in there, brother. Whatever you wanted to add. But my bad, G.
Nah, that was it. It's just, that's how I'm looking at life right now, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a almost 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, and an 8-year-old.
Right.
So, and trying to just turn them on to be looking at, try to find the thing, try to look at the things that isn't obvious. The obvious shit is easy. So that's what I think. I think, the people that's getting readings are in my son's demographic. My 21-year-old and 19-year-old. They're the ones that, have some difference in how they see the world. And and some of them buy into it with this technology shit. I tried to tell my son, like, my son wanted to, what they doing with video games now, for y'all that have kids that play video games, they got these things called skins. Before you bought the video game, that was it. You bought it, you played it, that was it. You beat the game, and then, you got another game, or you beat it again, or you trade it with somebody or whatever. Now you buy the game and it's all this in-store purchasing shit. To make you keep spending money. Nothing to, and it's not even tangible. It's only shit for the video game. You want your player to be better. Buy this skin, buy these sneakers. Right. And you gotta spend real money to get digital fucking sneakers. And I told my son, I was like, yo, son, don't you see how that don't pay? This was my 19-year-old, was like 16, 17 at the time. I'm like, bro, don't you see how that don't make sense? But he was so enthralled in the game and wanted to make his player better and all of that. When we came up playing on Sega Genesis and Nintendo, I switched over to Sega Genesis. I used to play NBA Live on Sega Genesis. You used to be able to create players on there, right? They had 32 slots where you could create players. And they gave you the ability to you had 99 stamina to use to create your player, so you could get their shooting up, rebound, dribbling, all that stuff. And that's how we did it back in the day. You know, now, man, I watched my son play 2K one time, just in his room hanging out, seeing what's going on. And he's like, yeah, man, Dad, can you take me to GameStop? For what? I need to get a card. So, I'm trying to get my player up. And I'm like, yo, they didn't just. So, just harken back to what I said, technology. I think some of these kids will be lost within technology. But I think some of them is like this technology is, it's questionable. And you're going to have some that's not going to fall for it. And they're going to try to find a way to move around without it. Like, I really think as much as we're going, I said this before. I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I believe I said it to Jamal. I think as fast as we're going forward, you gotta subsect the people trying to move back. You talk about that movie Awake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember in the movie, your man was like, we need to get a car with no chips in it. Because what? They'll be able to stop your car with an EMP. Remember what the dude said in the Google video from the guy from Catch Me If You Can. He said in the future, they're not even going to be worried about if you want to chasing you, if you in the car and they chasing you. They're just going to hit a button, your car going to stop. Mm-hmm. They're going to shoot an EPM, they're going to shoot an EMP and stop your car right in its tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as everybody want Apple CarPlay and Android Play or whatever in their car and all of this shit, I remember when I took my Lexus to the shop. This is some years ago, and they, at our Lexus dealership here, they give you a loaner while your car's in the shop. So I had this loaner for I probably had it for like a week and a half or something like that. It was and they try to put you on something nice so you could trade your joint in and get what they. I think that's a play too. Let's give them this loaner. You might want to get out of what he in and hop in this. So they had gave me a R350, RX 350, nice joint. So when I went to do the Bluetooth thing with my car, with my phone, so I can listen to music. Don't you know when I hooked that Bluetooth shit up, that shit pulled in all my phone contacts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, damn, this shit. I was like, wow, that shit's crazy. And but when I took it off, it took all the information out. Like it wasn't, stuck in there. But it was there, I guess, hey, if you need it, it's there. And I thought that was bugged out. But the funny shit is, Cass is gonna start wanting old ass cars, bro. Because the future, no matter, nobody wants to be policed in that way. Like, we want to have some type of, feeling that we have some privacy. This shit is about to turn into Minority Report. And just real quick, shout out to my wife. She was at FYE the other day, and I got my Animatrix back.
Mm.
They had the four set DVD joint. So she copped it while she was out. So I got it back. We watched it well, she fell asleep, but we started watching it last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I got the greatest documentary back.
Right. We warned you.
Yep. And watch Minority Report. And they also made Minority Report a TV show. So watch the movie with Tom Cruise. I didn't watch the TV show because I don't have well, I don't know. I don't know if it came on regular TV or if it came on cable. But I know they made a TV show out of the movie. But if you can get the movie, check the movie out. Because in the movie they got this thing called pre-crime, where if you think of a crime, you get arrested and charged for thinking. You didn't even do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically thought crimes like they were talking about in 1984, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Thought crimes. Yeah.
So this is all this shit coming online. And if you can find you an old ass gremlin or a pinto, that's what it's gonna be, bro. And they trying to listen. And at the same time, to get you out of carbon emission cars, they're giving these people incentives and monies and grants to create these electric vehicles. And if you in the electric vehicle, it ain't gonna be nothing you could do. There ain't no getaway. Gonna know you know, it's the same shit. I ain't saying nothing nobody don't know, but this is the shit our kids and our kids' kids are gonna be dealing with. All that Blade Runner, Total Recall shit. That in the 80s it seemed fantastical because our knowledge base wasn't where it was now. Our knowledge base yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna wrap up with this because I gotta. It's approaching 1. I'm gonna have to get off of here.
Yeah.
But I think that's why it's important to introduce children to their magic early. Because when it's all said and done, it comes down to where does the power lie? You know? And so for every time the universe provides suitable ammunition, and so when the adults learn, they then have seeds, freedom seeds to plant. And you know, I'll leave it at that.
Indeed.
So yeah, we'll have to circle back. You know, we can go on and on with this one. But I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Sharing your wisdom, sharing your energy. You know, we'll be back next week. If the creek don't rise, we'll be back next week, and we're gonna have something that hopefully will be stimulating and edifying.
Thanks everyone for coming out. Probably this week we'll get the music out that's been recorded. Well, the music is on Jamal's channel. I just got to get the artwork to put it on the streaming services. And then Jamal has a couple things to do before it's available on Bandcamp. But we do have the 2 new singles out, El Flamenco and Figure This. So check that out if you haven't. And we real people. As I'm talking to y'all, I'm in this bathroom cleaning right now. We real, you know. We got real jobs, we got real families, we got real lives. We're not no we're not no talking heads, man. We real people, got real feelings, real thoughts. And we appreciate y'all for listening and hanging out with us and sharing, like he said, sharing your wisdom and thoughts also. So that's all I got, man. Y'all be well.
No doubt. We'll catch y'all on the top side. Peace.
Peace.